okay, the best interest of the conference obviously is a fancy way of saying if the money's right, we'll do it. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be updated on all things EA college football, please subscribe to this channel right now. I also do some pro football, college football, and Madden videos as well. Remember, subscribe, like, share, comment, do all that stuff. I'd really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so here we are. It's kind of, like I said, this is kind of the dog days of football season. There's not really much going on right now. We are getting close to training camp for the NFL, so that's going to have some news out here. However, it's basically just going to be, oh yeah, this guy looks really good. Oh yeah, this guy is looking good. Or somebody gets injured or somebody does something bad. So those are the news stories we're dealing with right now. However, there is a lot of news, especially with the media days. So we saw recently that there was Big 12 media days, and the new commissioner of the Big 12, Mr. Brett Yormark, is there. So I want to talk about him because I'm a little late on this, and there's some reports out there. I want to kind of go through what he's been through and what he's going to be going through right now and how they kind of connect. First of all, let's get into a couple of those articles right now. So here we are from the Oklahoman. 5 things you need to know about Brett Yormark, who succeeds Bob Bowlesby as Big 12 commissioner, from Dean Rule, and this was on June 29th. Like I said, this is a little bit old here. We kind of break this down. Former Brooklyn Nets CEO Brett Yormark will be the new commissioner of the Big 12, and the conference announced Wednesday morning. Brett Yormark replaces Bob Bowlesby, who served as the conference's commissioner for a decade before announcing in April his intentions to step down from the role. Dude, trust me, he had to deal with a whole bunch of crap. And he's probably like, dude, I'm too old for this crap. Get me out of here. So they break this down. 5 things to know about Mr. Brett Yormark. He built his background in the NBA. He's got some very, very noticeable things that he's done and how he's been able to handle these certain situations. So it breaks it out a couple of different things here. He's spending time selling TV rights to Minnesota sports teams and selling sponsorships to the Detroit Pistons. And again, he started all the way back working in the ticket office and worked his way all the way up to the executive. So a lot of people think, oh, this job is beneath me. This job is beneath me. Your boy Brett Yormark worked his way all the way up. It said he also had a brief stint with NASCAR, serving as the vice president of corporate sponsorships for the company. He helped open a New York office for the company in the early 2000s to grow the sport nationally. Yormark returned to basketball in 2005, being named the CEO of the Nets. He was instrumental in the team's move from New Jersey to Brooklyn and oversaw the construction of the Barclays Center. Yormark served as the CEO for 14 years, leaving the team in 2019. We are going to get into that more because it's really interesting to see what he had to go through. There was a lot of little complicated parts there. I mean, the team was good and viewership wasn't. It was a weird situation, but we'll get into that in a second. And again, we talk about that too. He revitalized the Brooklyn's sports scene. With the Barclays Center, Yormark secured agreements to host numerous men's college basketball tournaments, including NCAA, ACC, and A10 tournaments. He also helped return boxing to Brooklyn for the first time since 1931, with the arena hosting multiple world championships. Yormark assisted with the NHL's New York Islanders in relocating home games from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, a move that was short-lived. So again, he's an aggressive guy, trying to get things moving, didn't ultimately work out there. The Barclays Center is consistently in the top 10 of ticket sales for all entertainment venues worldwide. Your boy has done a really good job. Despite the diverse sports background, Yormark has no experience at the college level. He's been also entwined in the entertainment industry. Okay, so he's been the COO of Rock Nation, an entertainment agency founded by rapper and businessman Jay-Z in 2008. Did a couple different things here. He was also the co-CEO of the agency's commercial branch, Rock Nation Unified. They also break down the fact that he is an innovative mind. While working with NASCAR, Yormark was named to Crane's 40 under 40 list, an accomplishment he'd achieve again years later. Yormark also earned recognition from the Sports Business Journal, who named him to their 40 under 40 list 3 times, an award he shares with his brother. Well, I only got like 6 or 7 years left to do that, and I haven't been on it once, so your boy is killing it. But look at this here. He was instrumental in securing TV rights contracts with networks while at NASCAR and the Nets. NASCAR closed a $2.4 billion deal with Fox NBC to televise its races with Yormark's help. Your boy got a good old spiff because of that one. The Big 12's current media rights expire with Fox and ESPN in 2025, with negotiations for a renewal expected to begin in 2023. And this is from Eric Shanks, the CEO and executive producer of Fox Sports. In a statement, he says that Brett is a talented and innovative executive who brings a remarkably unique perspective to the position. And he also has, the last thing here, he's got a talent for stabilizing things. Yormark inherited one of the worst run NBA franchises in 2005. In just his first year with the Nets, he boosted ticket sales by 20% and sponsorship sales by 100%. His aggressive marketing strategy in New York helped with complicated but successful efforts to move the franchise. It also helped build NASCAR from a regional sport to the second best sports ratings behind the NFL during his tenure. And it says right here, with Oklahoma and Texas departing the SEC to the SEC in 2025, and the Big 12 adding UCF, Houston, BYU, and Cincinnati, Yormark has a similar task with the conference in the coming years. So your guy is well-traveled, creative, good businessman, able to handle some chaos, and he's going to be experiencing a lot of that. I want to bring up an article here to talk about that move from to the Barclays Center, for them moving from New Jersey to Brooklyn, and how just weird it was. So here we are with NetsDaily.com. 5 years on, Yormark reflects on Nets move to Brooklyn. This article was from October 22nd of 2017. He says right here, he admits the Nets' decision to divorce themselves from New Jersey after Bruce Ratner bought the team in 2004 was a mistake. The Nets kept having to push back the date of the move from 2006 to 2009 and finally 2012 as legal challenges, then the Great Recession, took their toll. We were in a challenging state, he said. The Nets' last years in New Jersey, we had declared to the New Jersey community that we were leaving the state. Looking back, we may have done that prematurely, but it was something I inherited. It was part of the narrative. So while the team was in New Jersey, you had an eroding fan base because fans no longer invested because they were leaving for Brooklyn. It took a lot longer to get Brooklyn than anticipated, so the fan base really started to erode there in the later years in Jersey. It surely showed. Right here, and this article breaks this thing down. So of course, even before the team announced the move, the Nets had trouble attracting fans. In their two Eastern Conference championship years, they're playing to go to the NBA Finals. Attendance ranked 28th and 23rd. In comparison, the Knicks, who were woeful, ranked 8th and 5th. The Nets couldn't even sell out all of their home final games in 2004. Just to give a perspective of how salty people were about this. So this is where the Prudential Center was, where they played, and this is where the Barclays Center is now. That is 12.7 miles. And they had announced it here that, hey, we're going to be moving over here. We're going to be moving 12 miles away. And people just stopped going to the games. I mean, that is super, super arrogant of all these New York fans. Is there something I need to know about? Anybody from New York, let me know. Is there some, subway that's just ridiculous out here? The fact that you had to move all the way over here was so ridiculous for you to get to the games. Again, if you're from New York, break this down for me because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I bring this up right here. This is where Old Candlestick Park is, and this is where Levi Stadium is now. This is where the Niners have moved to, and this right here is, what is that? That's 38.2 miles. The other one was 15. And they couldn't get any fans. So I mean, there might be some fan situations with the fact that the Niners are here at Levi Stadium. But when they were going to the finals, I guarantee you, if the Niners were in the playoffs at Levi Stadium the first couple of years, that place would be sold out. But apparently, people from New Jersey do not want to go to Brooklyn. I don't know. So he's been able to handle a couple situations like that, took the team over there. It was really, really complex, but again, he's done his job to develop ticket sales, to do sponsorships, things like that. He's been able to move the team over. Now, he's got some interesting things coming up because he said something recently at Big 12 Media Days that is really, really interesting and could have some lasting effects over Texas, Oklahoma, and the remainder of the Big 12. And it could be a big payday for them, but we'll see what they say. Let's check it out. So right here, Big 12's Brett Yormark leaves the door open on early Texas-Oklahoma exit. This was just 12 hours ago. And again, he says right here that he spoke to a small group of reporters and shared that he's open to speeding up realignment. With the small group of reporters, the new Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark said, "I'm not against having negotiations that allow Texas OU to leave for the SEC early, but it's got to be in the best interest of the conference, obviously." Okay, the best interest of the conference, obviously, is a fancy way of saying, if the money's right, we'll do it. So he has to really hit the ground running with the Big 12 because the ACC is potentially talking about renegotiating their deal. It looks like that the Pac-12 is kind of, things are up in flux right now. George Kliavkoff is going to be aggressive out there. There's a lot of things happening right now. Who knows what's going to happen with the SEC? They say they're staying at 16 right now, what they said, and they made sure they were adamant about that. And then the Big Ten, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Big Ten is just like, let's just get 24 teams. He's got a lot to deal with here. He's probably got arguably either the third or fourth most leverage of all the commissioners. Obviously, Greg Sankey with the SEC, and then Kevin Warren with the Big Ten 1 and 2. Now, wherever you put them 1 and 2, I don't really know, but just those are 1 and 2. He's in a battle for third, so we'll see what happens. Maybe Jim Phillips, maybe George Kliavkoff, and then him. I think he's got a lot of B+ programs to work with there. Got a lot of B+ brands to work with there. So we'll see what he can do, man. But he's certainly had a history of handling chaos before, and it's only going to get more chaotic from here. All right, guys, that's it. Get in the comments right now. Let me know what you guys think about him, and what do you think about him, like, as he goes forward? What are his biggest challenges? What are things he's going to be good at? What do you think things he needs to get more acclimated to? Get in the comments right now and let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. Hit that red subscribe button. Hit the like button. I'll see you guys next week. I am out.